Okay,
Mm?
let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
After you proof that Tracy Flynn is still alive, we have to find it and show it to everyone. By doing a little ballerina twirl. Let's see how long this one takes.
Well, here's one thing we do know.
Just listen to the whole thing before you make a decision.
Body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Oh, it's no notable difference.
Was he really still alive?
Of course not. It is impossible. This is ridiculous.
It's impossible! That is ridiculous!
They literally take all of the tension out of the segment by fast forwarding and making their voices speed up.
There was no notable difference.
Yes!
No, that's wrong.
There, I got that one instantly, finally. Okay.
To be fair, we've gotten most of them instantly so
There
far.
was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses.
Precisely.
That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
You know exactly what that is, right?
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I got it!
Yeah.
It
How
was
do
a
you miss
glasses
this?
cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Higgles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly
So it must have been Hifumi then.
Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... what exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood
Real
on
smart
his
cookie, aren't
glasses
you?
was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Well, yeah.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
True.
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then,
Yes.
if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
He is an artist.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
Well, yeah, that's true.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
It had to be Hifumi.
Hifumi.
I got it!
Yeah.
It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
Think he was in on something.
That
Who?
also explains how the
Hifumi.
door to the repository
Yeah.
got locked.
After the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So,
Oh.
he wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Yup.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The note!
Yes.
Right here.
I got it!
Haha.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes, his pants.
Why do you have to word it like that?
Delivery on that. Yes.
Yes. His pants.
Okay,
Why is that not a meme?
forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole. Maybe we could use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
6
I'm
a.m.
telling you about. The one that told me where to go.
Uh-huh.
Which is when Taka got killed.
Uh-huh.
Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Taka.
Fumi's pants.
Really?
No.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Oh wait, do you gain health whenever you get something right?
Yes.
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
I'm glad they weren't drawing out a mobile app anyway.
Shut up!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Don't call my favorite character TikTok, please.
Yes!
Anyway.
Why must you ruin it every time?
I'm trying to develop an app here, bitch!
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously stupid. But still.
Even though I'm pretty sure this was released in like 2011, so it didn't even exist back then.
I know. Can't let her get to me.
Wait, was it 2011? I don't know.
Oh god. Wait, what are we proving?
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to me?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Yes it does.
The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong.
There we go.
There we go.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered.
Delivery.
I wish we could have fast forwarded that line. That would have been funny.
Okay, anyway.
Alright.
You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place, written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Great.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I've got all the proof you need. Right here. Check out this broken piece of paper.
I got it!
Broken?
When I searched
Ripped.
Taka's body,
Ripped. Whatever.
I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's
Yes.
scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Gasp.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly, which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
No, he's not.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, no.
Sorry,
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
sorry, M. Night Shyamalan.
Wait. But remember there was that scene with Owie.
The scene with Owie.
The
I know
freaking
who you're-
tears!
I know who you're. Oh, the tears thing.
Yes! I like how my number one way to connect that Hifumi was alive
Yeah.
still is through something that I admittedly found really cliche.
Yes.
But
I
anyway.
learned to twist it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
What?
Stupid
Why are you calling her a walrus?
You freaking walrus.
What about me screams walrus to you? Rawr!
Just clip your scissor clipper.
Who are you calling a walrus?
I like how her graphic, whenever she gets like angry or upset, her ponytail like turns into like multiple spikes.
Yeah,
I find that really funny.
Anyway,
It's like a cat with its tail.
Hurricane bothers me too, but there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But
True.
Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
Which is why there was that one hammer that was wet.
Yes.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Close enough to a compliment from you, so I
Hell
guess.
yeah, it's packed in there good.
Like how he's not even offended, but his face looks like it is.
It's like, hell yeah, it's packed in there good inside. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him after we're done.
I would pay money to see that.
That's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
And that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The picture surrounding this case won't be clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. Let's dance!
We're spinning around in a circle for the 33rd fucking time.
I'm getting dizzy.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
I didn't see those movies.
Well, whatever it was,
Okay.
how was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear.
You're an idiot.
It had to be one of the Justice Hammers! And, that's about it.
And that's about it.
Wow. You seem very confident in your statement there, Hito.
I think it's the last one.
Sounds like a Justice Hammer. Check out murdergear.com.
I love how there's still humor even during this really high tense freaking trial.
Yeah.
I love it.
The weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could easily use that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder.
Okay, yeah.
Got covered in Hifumi's blood. Of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Or just literally painted over them.
Could have done that too.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma Files note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is
Oh
no
my
limit
God.
to helping someone else carry out a murder.
I think I might know who it is.
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. That's what we thought at first, but... Oh, my head's spinning!
Okay. Thanks for that.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
It's definitely the
Based
first
on
one.
the rules that have been laid, assuming the rule holds true, it
Or
is
not.
simply impossible.
No, it's not.
to-
It's time.
Shoot!
Stop imitating me! I'm talking to the person playing my voice. I don't roll my R's!
Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible.
In this case, however, there were two murders.
Oh. Okay,
Damn it.
I think it's the other way around.
Shoot!
Man, I have such a migraine right now.
Shoot! Forgot to take my Tylenol.
In this case, however, there were two murders.
Assuming the rule holds true,
There we go.
There we go.
It's wrong!
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
Yeah.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
That's oh my god.
Target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
That's a way to get out of it.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Ouch.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Odd.
Why odd?
We're made to convince us the 2 murders are the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, and again, not telling us! Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate. Kyoko really is amazing, although, if you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case had unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit.
I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna sound like a real stretch. I'm gonna say Hina.
Hina. She has been very, like, defensive, like, no, I would never do this, like, and almost...
Well, again, it's the freaking cliche thing. It's the thing at the end. I don't know. I mean, this is all you do, but that's my assumption.
I have no clue.
Are you confident in your assertion?
Huh?
Perhaps you should take a second and think it through again, more slowly this time.
Shoot.
Really? Okay. Then who the hell else could it possibly be?
You know what?
What?
As much as I don't think you want this to happen, I think it's Celeste.
There's no fucking way.
Did you notice, like, during this trial, she seemed to get more and more, like, defendant about, like, trying to steer away the conversation?
Oh my god. You're right, she did.
Yeah, she was trying to, like, take the topic of this to something else, I think. So...
Maybe she roughed herself up in the rec room on purpose to throw people off.
That's a possibility. Yeah, I'm going with Celeste.
Here's my answer.
Oh shit.
It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
Your accent changed there.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Encountering the suspicious individual. The screaming. Encountering the suspicious individual? No. The screaming.
It's the
The
screaming.
screaming, I think.
Alright, shoot.
Oh, God. Oh.
Half a heart. Okay, it's definitely the first one then, because what the
Yeah, it has to be.
I got it!
Okay. Well, we get half a heart
The behavior
back.
they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Oh.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Shush.
God damn it. Really? Really? Who has their phone on?
Come on, hand it into the teacher. Forget.
You have to do it in Monokuma's voice.
Yeah. Forget.
Who has their phone out? I will be confiscating that. You get detention!
Anyway.
What?
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow! Something moving around at the top of the stairs! Making me roll my R's! I don't roll my R's, you fucking idiot!
Specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, draw us all to the physics lab up on the 3rd floor.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him! The strange costumed man! I don't roll my R's, goddammit!
She was having us go around in a bunch of directions.
Oh my god! The ultimate liar! The ultimate gambler! Wrapped in a veil of lies!
Yeah! See?
Told you we couldn't trust her.
Okay,
We read this.
what is it with this game killing off all my favorite characters?
Done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab. It was time for her partner to get to work.
Okay, we read this like a million times.
Yeah.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well. Then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered.
Oh. Oh.
You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Oh, man.
Oh, really?
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Oh. Jeez.
Each piece
Wow.
isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here! We're going to die just like those guys died!
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room.
Oh!
And told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Oh!
Ooh.
Oh my god! Oh, wow!
Wow.
Celeste, you literally screwed yourself over with that tiny little error!
Wow.
Oh my god!
Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Yaku said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. What is he alluding to?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and
Hold on.
confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys.
Those guys, that one.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Those guys. She said those guys.
What I said was, we are going to die, just like those guys died. And
that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste?
I like how, like, from my point of view, it just looked like some onomatopoeia just came out of Celeste when you did that.
We are going to die, just like those guys died.
What? That can't. What?
Oh, I think it's flashback bullshit. Hold on.
Oh, flashback.
Right.
Okay, no, we're very close. We're very close.
Nobody believes me, even though we have all this proof that's definitely Celeste now. They're still gonna pin it on me anyway. Alright.
This makes sense. Freaking controller work, please.
No, you're guilty. We broke a controller. Guilty people don't deserve a controller.
What? What do you... What does that even mean?
I don't know what that even means.
We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Oh, I see what it is.
Comment?
Well, no, yeah.
Enjoying the sight of us standing
Okay,
around, frightened and confused.
No,
Maybe,
probably
okay,
not.
No, wait. I might know what the
Okay.
answer is here.
All I said was, they must really enjoying.
All I said for like the 40th time was...
How many times are you going to make me repeat myself?
So strange about Celeste's comment?
We are going to die, just like those
Oh,
guys
shut
died.
down, but press the button!
That is all I...
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Pick that up. Press the freaking button correctly.
Enjoying. We are going to die.
There!
No, that's wrong.
There we go. Break the screen in half.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys die. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
That's true.
Exactly.
Which is
And
what
we
I was
didn't
trying to
run
say.
into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
True.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
I guess staged.
Yeah. It must be staged.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
I don't think anyone was in the costume. I think they just propped it up in the right way to make it look.
Yeah.
So quickly forgotten. You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit.
No. Because we saw Aoi get in there too.
Well, no, she couldn't fit though. She tried and it didn't work.
Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer.
But why do you know
And how? Why do you know that?
In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Explanations. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is
What?
Hifumi is dragging the suspect away, I guess. Because the other
Yes.
two are just stupid.
Yeah.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. Is that really possible? Time to spin again.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
As you can see in the
Not sure
picture,
on this
the
one.
suspect is standing perfectly upright. There's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Okay.
Oh!
Good guess.
Lucky click.
Good guess. Alright.
Wow.
Okay.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Because of how heavy it is, I think.
That's true. Yeah.
That Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Or just like how it couldn't bend. Yeah, you can't bend at the waist. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Oh my god.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
That is insane.
Oh boy.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Okay.
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you?
Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yeah, Yasuhiro. Totally knuckle shame
When
on
we
me.
asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Again, staged.
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Taro.
What?
Okay.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
Another good reaction to something. Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Okay.
Well, I mean, I really don't think you're in any place to be threatening people, Celeste.
Yeah.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Oh, jeez.
For Sirius's hero. I don't remember him saying last names. I guess nicknames?
I think nicknames.
Okay.
Shoot!
Okay, maybe it was last names
Think
then, I
back to
guess.
how did
Yeah.
he refer to each of us?
I got it!
Okay.
That's right.
Remember that.
Our last names. He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm a Dumbo.
So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Stop talking.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to. And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
Oh!
If her last name is actually Yasuhiro, I'm going to scream.
I agree. Should we just have it set up that if it turns out her last name is Yasuhiro, we just scream into the microphone simultaneously?
Correct, yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Jeez! My god!
Loser! You a loser! You made
Okay, shush, shush, shush.
Alright, I'll stop breaking the tension.
Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. By playing a rhythm game!
Or spinning around in a circle.
Or spin in a circle and make an argument, that too.
E-handbook! The e-handbook!
Ooh, probably.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person
Hold on.
who might have that last name.
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
Why is it upside down?
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Well,
that's the only
No way to contradict me.
moron.
fast forwarding through this text is gonna be funny.
Do it.
Okay.
How many times? Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan?
Since you have no way to contradict...
Excuse me, yes we do.
Yes, we do.
That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it! When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one! Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that. So many more uses.
So all
Blech.
we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
You have no right to refuse right now.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Okay, is this going to be the comic scene now?
I think so.
Or segment?
Yes, okay.
Okay, just skip ahead a bit. Process of elimination. If we can find the segment where Hifumi is... Go to the next page.
Oh, like this.
Yes. Now go to the circle that has the person holding the camera.
Here?
That one. Put it right there.
Seems early.
You think so?
Oh, wait, no, I see the camera there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So this is just this hammer 4, so I think this goes here.
No, I don't think so, because there's blood on it already.
Okay, it goes here.
Look at the clocks in the circles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the clock goes here. I think it's this one. Maybe.
Yes, it is.
Is this supposed to be like Hifumi pushing a cart?
I think so.
I think that'll go there. Or no, wait, no, this, maybe.
Yeah, probably that one. Okay, that one would be the clean hammer. Or not the clean hammer, but the one that's not painted. So that one.
That one, okay. I think maybe back here, possibly this?
Maybe. Oh, that one.
This?
Mm-hmm. Right there, yep.
There. And I think this happened at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, meet me in the rec room at 1, yep.
So then there's just this.
Mm-hmm. It's probably Justice Hammer 3, if I had to guess.
This is 3. And this is 2.
Maybe.
Well, let's see how it goes.
The killer is you!
Me?
No, I don't.
The killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him. The killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved
So far, so
to the
good.
murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
Oh my god, that graphic.
Yeah, oh my god.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
Okay, good.
Nice.
Good.
while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene, in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found.
Amazing realizations here.
Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
That's the first time we ever got that segment correct.
Yeah. Oh, wow. They combined. Phased through each other.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Uh-oh. You lost.
I lost?
Yes.
Yep.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words?
Makes you feel any better, Celeste? I'm not happy about it either.
They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor.
I, Celestia Ludenberg.
Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
Unbelievable. Un-goddamn believable.
My brain just exploded.
Okay, I'll give him this. I was not expecting that.
No, I was not.
Especially considering one of the other characters' first name is literally Yasuhiro.
Yeah.
Taiko? So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
So you faked the accent, too.
Faked the accent, too.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Unbelievable.
What the hell?
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Oh my god. That is...
Oh my god.
What the hell?
Next time on Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Maybe that idiot the Ham will actually remember my name for once.
Why'd you decide to make me the suspect? I would make a joke here, but I don't think it's very fitting right now.
No, definitely not. Because you're stupid.
Wow.
Well, I guess she... Okay, she
wrote the jokes for us.
What did you do? What did you do to me? What? Answer me. What did you do to my body?
As if from a vast distance I heard a sound.
The hell?
It was faint but undeniable. That sound. It's coming from the gym? Oh shit.
What the? Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see,